Oh man, am I excited about today's video. This is a story that I have wanted to tell to you guys here on YouTube for a long time. So we are back onto day 10 of our 30-day Dungeons and Dragons challenge. And today's topic is, what is the craziest thing that has ever happened to you or to your group or to players that you know in a game that you played in? So get your popcorn ready, because I think I got a fun little story that I want to share. Man, okay, so where to start with this? I think I'm going to try to jump in and just give you guys a quick little glimpse of the campaign, and then that'll kind of set things up. Because I think it's important to understand that this was at the end of our campaign. So I had been running a campaign for several months in Pathfinder called Secrets of the Forgotten. And it was a campaign that I had all homebrewed everything. We were playing with Greyhawk deities in Pathfinder setting. And it was kind of my own world. And we're getting close to the end of the campaign. And the players had discovered a temple. They had to go into this temple to retrieve a key. It was a MacGuffin. They were going in to retrieve a MacGuffin that was going to allow them to catch this villain that they've been chasing for the entire campaign. Okay, y'all are pretty much caught up. But here's the thing about this temple that they went into, this dungeon. Inside this dungeon was a ghost, a very, very awesome character by the name of Lorlemir. And Lorlemir, in my setting, was one of the most powerful magic users to have ever existed. And so Lorlemir I had this whole backstory with him setting up these what's the word I'm looking for? These challenges, these prove yourself type events for his two sons that he sent them off on. Blah, blah, blah. All the backstory is really kind of irrelevant to this part. But now you know kind of why the dungeon existed. And man, dude, I did this so good on Roll20. I set everything up with dynamic lighting. This was a puzzle dungeon. So I had started the whole campaign with the puzzle dungeon. I had ended with the puzzle dungeon. And this thing was so tough for the players. It was incredibly difficult. I had combats while puzzles were being solved. I had dynamic lighting puzzles that I had set up on Roll20 because, you know, we got all my players to kind of work those. It was awesome. It was just a really, really cool, great dungeon that kind of split off into four directions, so my players had a lot of player choice. And in the center of this dungeon sat the ghost of Lorlemir, the most powerful magic user to have existed in my setting. And I loved Lorlemir. I based Lorlemir's character, his present character, off of Sheogorath and kind of the Mad Hatter and the Joker. So if you took Sheogorath from Elder Scrolls and the Mad Hatter, who Sheogorath is kind of based off of, and the Joker, and put them all into one and packaged them up in a crazy, very, very powerful being, that is Lorlemir. So when they walk into this dungeon, they see a table laid out like Mad Hatter Sheogorath, right? And he goes through the whole thing, and this ghost is just taunting them all the way through. And he's going insane, and I've got this really awesome Mark Hamill Joker-esque voice that I'm attaching to this thing. Great, fun character. And I'm taunting them all the way through, and they're going through these puzzles, and they're not moving the lighting right, and they almost die, and they get one wing of it done, they get to another one, and it's the end of the campaign, and everybody can feel how epic and how building this whole thing is, how it's just building to this immense climax of trying to get through this dungeon, and how this dungeon is probably going to kill someone or everybody. I mean, it's really, really, really tough. It was tough. It was a tough dungeon for them. And so my players get to the last wing that they have to do. And each of these wings I had kind of had 3 challenges inside of each wing for 12 total. So they are literally on the last room of the last wing that they have done. They have done everything. They have solved all my puzzles. They have solved riddles. They have been taunted by this powerful ghost wizard. And they get to this one room, and I think the puzzle was I had platforms that they had to jump across to get to the other side of the room. And then on top of the room was a fire drake statue. And of course, when they got halfway across, the statue came to life, and they're on these isolated platforms 30, 40 feet up in the air. And they're just kind of stuck on these platforms while this thing is flying overhead and attacking them. And so it really put the melee characters kind of in a tough spot. I mean, that was the whole point to the challenge. And so we had my elvish sorcerer by the name of Elisar, and he was an intelligence-based sorcerer because he took a Pathfinder, a weird variant. Great character, love this character. He gets stuck on the platform, and he is literally, while two guys in the back are trying to snipe and fire this thing down, he's a sorcerer, and he is just totally stuck out there kind of on this island, and he gets so low that he can't really drop down because he's just out of options, and he is just rifling off. My player decides, instead of trying to risk jumping down, that he is going to just throw as much damage as he can, as quickly as he can at this thing, and hope that he lives. Man, and he is just bunkering down, and he's just firing off scorching rays and spells, and this thing is coming down at him, and it takes him down, and everybody can feel it. It's like all of the air got sucked out of the group. And I know we're playing on Roll20, but you could just feel it. And the fire drake comes down, and he kills Elisar. And the next thing that happens is Lakota, who's being played by Daniel, my younger brother, he's in the back, and he gets the killing blow on it. And I'm not fudging these rolls. These are legitimately, this happened. There's nothing I can do for this. I'm not fudging for these guys at all. And I had given them a chance, and they're trying to get over there, and nobody can get to him in time to save him and res him because he's on this platform, and they're trying to make their jumps and get over there. And they're trying everything. And he fails his checks, and he dies. And you could just feel the group just sitting in silence, soaking it all in, that their sorcerer had died, knowing that this is like the last night of the whole campaign. And so the players finish the room. They get the orb that they needed. They take it back to the main chamber. They take Elisar's body back. You know, if you give your players a chance, they will probably surprise you. Because they get back to this main room, and I'm like, break. Guys, we're taking a break. Because I'm already thinking, like, it's the last night of the campaign. I might give them, like, a wish in the last room. Or something. Or make them trade. Maybe I should give them an opportunity. I can either give them the map or the key that they're looking for, or I could give them a wish to bring Elisar back. And that'll be interesting. That's not me just coddling my players. That's me giving them another choice to make the game more fun. I have no idea what they'll choose. Maybe they'll be into it. And I'm already thinking this outside. Like I walk outside, where I'm taking a break, and I'm racking my brains, right? I'm trying to figure out what I need to do, if I need to just let him die and he's just gonna sit there for the next hour and a half, or what. I sit back down, and we commence. And Brian, who's playing Elisar, who's dead, is just sitting, watching the game. He's not saying anything. I think he's still kind of in shock that he lost his character on the last night of the campaign. And then my brother speaks up. My little brother Daniel, my younger brother Daniel, speaks up in character. And a little aside for this, he hated his character. He jumped in halfway through the campaign because we had somebody else flake out, and he never really liked his character. But he did play his character as a gambler. So his character was a gambler. That's the little aside there. And so he walks up to Lorlamir, and he says, "Do you have the power to restore life to our friend, to our companion? Can you bring him back from the dead?" You know, and I'm reacting as a dungeon master, right? I'm just racking my brain. I'm like, yes. You know, but I'm in, yes. You know, I'm in my character. So he walks over to Lorlamir and he says, "I have a proposal for you. You seem so happy that one of our companions has fallen. It seems to have brought you joy. That your dungeon, your trap, your test has claimed the life of our dear friend Elisar." He says, "So, we will take one single roll of the dice. Odds, you can have me as well. Evens, and you restore life to my friend Elisar." And immediately I can see everybody at the table is just like totally stunned. Like, what is about to happen here? And so, but this isn't the complete end of the campaign because they still know they've got to go face the main villain. And so they don't want to lose Lakota. And so they're already like, no. Come on, Lakota, you can't do this, blah, blah, blah. And so I say, deal. And my younger brother, dude, I didn't even... And before I could even react or ready myself or prepare myself or anybody else could say, I tried to stop him or anything, my younger brother was like, and he just rolled the dice. Man, I could not believe the events when I looked down and saw that he had succeeded in his bet against Laura Lemire. And everybody was just stunned and waiting for me to say something. And I'm just like, Elisar, you suddenly snap back to life. And you let out a big gasp. And you could hear everybody was just like you could hear them like breathing and freaking out. And the coolest thing about all of it, my younger brother, the coolest thing about all of it was that everybody was just stunned, including myself, was just stunned. He walks over to Elisar, whose clothes are tattered, but his scars are now closed over and he's breathing and kind of sitting up. He lowers his hand down to him, grasps him by the hand, pulls him up, and says, we have work to finish. And he turned and he walked towards the portal that had opened for them for the final room. And it was the most epic I have ever seen. Ever. And part of me wonders if that will be one of those memories. One of those memories of me playing Dungeons and Dragons or Pathfinder with my friends. Part of an epic campaign, telling a story that nobody else will ever be a part of. That will just stick with me. Because even thinking about it now just makes me smile. It was the coolest thing I have ever seen in a game. And it is a very, very fond memory playing Dungeons and Dragons. And a very, very epic story that I won't soon forget. So I gotta tell you, I'm really looking forward to what you guys want to share with me on some of the craziest things that you all have seen either happen to you or in your group. And I gotta tell you, this is one that I am definitely looking forward to reading. I can promise you now, I'll be reading all the comments below on this video for sure. I got a feeling will be a fun one. If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'll be putting out new videos every week on DM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit that subscribe button down below and come join us. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time.